The reflex is a lonely child. He's waiting by the park. The reflex is in charge of finding treasure in the dark. And watching over lucky clover, isn't that bizarre? Every little thing the reflex does is leave an answer with a question mark. Well, hi. Duran Duran is a band that started back in the early '80s, and they were very popular in the '80s. A lot of you young folks don't know about them, and as you can see from a yard sale, I have this. I have the Rio poster back here. I'm a huge Duran Duran fan. Um, and yeah, so I was partially excited for their new album, Paper Gods. But I was also kind of terrified because most older bands today who release albums have it mixed so well to the point where it sounds like complete other electronic crap. And I can say that that is the same for this album. Not saying that all the songs on here are bad, but it's very, very modern. And it's quite unlike how a lot of their older stuff is. Um, so this album starts off with the name of the album, Paper Gods. And as an opener, I am not impressed. It is suckish. It's crappy. It's not like their older stuff. And even though I do say that I do get a little bit of the Seven in the Ragged Tiger feel from it, like one of their older albums, it's not there. It's like I get a little bit, but not a lot. And that leads me on to track 2, which is Last Night in the City. And it's happy, it's fun, but it's not a good song. It's so modern. And also, I'm not a big Chiesa fan. So hearing her on this wasn't going to help me at all. You Kill Me to Silence was a little bit too much in the hip hop genre, and Duran Duran's not hip hop. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying there was like any rapping aspects of it, but the beats, they were hip hop beats. But all of a sudden with track 4 is Pressure Off. And can I just say that this track is absolutely amazing. It's so funky, and even though I'm not a Janelle Monáe fan, um, I still believe that she does a very, very good job on this track. But I do know who Janelle Monáe is with her background. I mean, I will say that the only track I can stand by her is Tightrope. But I will say that she does do a great job on this track. And Nile Rodgers, well, he's a god. He's also amazing on this. Easily, no matter what, this is the best track on the album. No matter what anyone says, don't let anyone tell you, buy this album just for the song. Actually, don't buy the album, just buy the song. Um, and overall, it's just really awesome. And after this song, it it gets a more modern feel with Face for Today. And it's not all that bad of a song. Could be a whole lot better. Simon does sound very good. Just it's not a good comeback from the previous track. But if there had to have been any song, there's probably a song that should have followed it up. But at least they made that decision. Um, then there is Danceophobia. It's not a bad track. I will admit, it's not a bad track. It starts out very poppy. Extremely poppy, I would have to say. It does have a ton of 80s roots. And it just overall is a very strange song. Because it's very poppy, it's very 80s, but why Danceophobia? I don't know. It's a bad choice for a song, and I get that you aren't known for making serious songs, case in point, The Reflex. Um, But overall, just why? It's not a bad track, but just why? I don't understand. But it's not that bad. I do somewhat enjoy it, just not as much as I'd like to. If it was not called Danceophobia, it just I don't know. And so then the same could be said for track 7. What are the chances? Pun. But overall, it's just that I mean, it's okay. Once again, it starts out very, very poppy. It goes on through the whole entire song. It's not bad, but it's just not my favorite at all. Like I even saying, track 4 is probably the best on this album. And also with Sunset Garage, which is track 8, I do feel like it did get a little bit better on the album. Um, it's not like the previous 2 tracks. What are chances? Danceophobia, and actually 3 tracks for today. But I do say it is pretty twinkly, but it does start out very poorly. But I'm not saying it's a bad song. It is a good song though. One of the higher points of the album, but it is a little bit boring in the beginning. And Change the Skyline. I do say that this is a very, very nice song. And as a basis, I do like the intro. Um, but I just have to say that the choruses for Change the Skylines, I have the same issue as Danceophobia. They shouldn't have had it to be Change the Skylines. It does not sound all that good in a song. Um, Overall, I think if they were to change the lyrics of Change the Skylines, or Change the Skyline, I think it could have been a much better track. Overall, the lyric choices for this album are not all that great. Um, and also, we have next Butterfly Girl. And I do say I do really, really enjoy the instrumentation on the track, but I do not enjoy the vocals till like the minute 30 seconds of this track. But that's saying something because this is a 3:16 track, and it just I don't know. It's even though it's one of the shorter tracks on here, it just still doesn't pick up until the very end. Um, and then we have Only in Dreams, which is another really good track. But it does have a very, very, very crappy intro. Like, what were they thinking? Like, gosh, ugh. It does sound like the Sega Genesis hacked this, in some parts. But overall, not a bad song. It does have a great story. It does get better throughout the track, but it still could have been so much better. And the last track on here is Universe Alone. Once again, this is a very good track, but I do say that there is a lot that could have been done. I do like how they ended off this album. They did end it off on a high note. And overall, even though this does have a lot of low points, this album I'm talking about, it does have some high points. Honestly, I think the 2 best tracks you really want to stick with are tracks 4 and 8, which are Pressure Off and Sunset Garage. But overall, I say try to avoid this album. Even though there are some good things, I'd rather you listen to their older stuff before you listen to this. Um, just so you can get a feel for what they used to be like. Overall, I give Duran Duran's Paper Gods a 4.5 out of 10. Have a nice day.